All right, everybody. We are episode 2. It is Tuesday, 11/22 at 7 a.m. So that means this is being recorded and possibly uploaded before the All Star Classic. So our predictions, it's not going to be in hindsight. Okay, we made it before. So just let it be known. Sean O'Rourke, man, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. Last episode we had a blast. Got some good feedback from some friends, and I'm excited to one get some college wrestling talk in, and then two, recap some of the California tournaments that happened this last weekend. So it's gonna be good.
First, let's talk about some fashion, dude. So
Love fashion.
I'm normally not a stickler. I love your vest, by the way. Vest
Thank you.
is tight. Do you normally mix Under Armour with Nike?
Well, today, since I'm gonna be golfing a little bit later, this is just what I threw on. Um, but normally, no. I have a Granite hat that I would probably normally wear.
You have a branded hat?
Granite, sorry.
Granite.
Granite hat.
It's made of granite.
Yes.
That would get kind of heavy, I feel like. No, granite's kind of light.
Um,
Graphite. No, I'm thinking of graphite.
yeah, granite's heavy.
Granite might get heavy.
Good neck workout though.
I feel like, dude, I don't need one. My neck is too thick. I went to a wedding last weekend, and my problem with dress shirts always is I can't get the top button. So I can only wear like a tie on certain shirts.
I think every wrestler has this problem. I can't button the top button. So I just take the tie and I cinch it up as best as I can, and it's usually like this.
Dude, that's what we need to make. I feel like there's got to be something out there where it's like like a button and like a button that like you push in and then there's like a little clip. So
Well,
it
they
can
make
get like
shirts
close.
now where this button right here is on like a string, so it's a little bit longer and it reaches.
No, I wouldn't do that because then it might fall off. I'm saying if you already have the whole, like this could be like just like a button clasp. You could like just like stick into any hole, and then you could just move the other button close and then just like latch it on. But I feel like there's already something. But if there's not, we need to call it like buttons for wrestlers.
We need to get smaller necks is what we need. None of this thick
No, I
necks.
like my neck, dude. It keeps my spine intact, like protects it. I'm really easy to choke out though in jiu-jitsu, I've realized.
Because
That
of your
could just
neck.
be because I wrestle and I just shoot double legs and people are like, okay, I'm on my back, but here's the guillotine.
You got to go head inside shots in jiu-jitsu, so you avoid the guillotine and the
Well, I
darce.
don't want to be stuck underneath somebody either.
No, go head inside shot, sweep single, get to the outside, shelf the leg, take the back.
Okay. Most of the time, though, in my experience, people just like pull guard. It's just like, well, I know you're gonna take me down, so I'm just gonna like pull guard.
Well, that's why when I've competed in jiu-jitsu, I kind of go out there and I try to stand up and not look like a wrestler, and I just hope they don't look at my ears.
So
So
you walk out like this.
I try to look like a gump. I literally go out
Dude,
there and
wear headgear. You can wear headgear in some, right?
wear like the black,
Like the frumpy ones.
yeah, the black A6 headgear.
Dude, have you seen those videos where it'd be like Jared Goff and they'd like dress him up as like a they put some makeup on it and he's like, oh, he's a transfer JC guy, and he would go
They
out
did
and
that.
just like light up the scoreboard.
They
Did
did
one
that
with
with Eli
Eli
Manning.
Manning too.
Yeah, they just did that with Eli at Penn State. It was pretty funny.
Yeah, it's like the walk-on, like he looks like he's 40.
He's like, "Where'd you go to school?" He's like, "I was homeschooled." He's like, "I like that."
But it would be funny like to do that with wrestling. Get like it would be too hard though. Like I feel like
Yeah,
wrestling's a niche sport, but get somebody that was like a I don't know, like I
like
can't think of
Welch.
anyone off the
Get
top.
Welch.
Get Welch, yeah, get like Welch or like Derek St. John, and then send him like to like a JC.
That
That
would be
would be
so
fair,
funny.
dude. But he has this like the headgear that like is like super loose, and he's got like those Nike like I call them the JV elites, but it's like every like new kid, it's like their first shoe.
Yes.
Yeah, this I think they're speed sweeps.
Yeah. Yeah.
And put those on.
Yes.
It's like
Yeah. That would be hilarious. I think Welch could do it too, because he's got that kind of goofy style too, where he would like kind of start off and they would be like, "Ooh, look, what is this guy
Yeah, the
doing?"
dance is
And
like,
then he freaking Gator Bacons or something, puts you to your back.
yeah.
It'd be funny. I'd like to
Be
see
doing
that.
that collar tie snap that he does.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be good.
Dude, I've been working on foot sweeps.
Foot
I'm trying
sweeps.
to pull a Steve. Do you know who Steve Mako is?
Hmm.
Yeah, I've been trying to pull a foot sweep, some foot sweep action, and like I can hit it pretty good. Maybe like 5 times out of 10, or like half the time, and then other times I end up just kicking a kid in the ankle.
Yeah. Well, sometimes you hurt your own shin because you kick either the ankle bone or the shin bone and it hurts.
Yeah, I
So when
want to say
I
you want to like end up behind the calf,
well
ideally.
from my
So like
Muay
I use
Thai,
my collar tie to pull him in, and then I hit that, and I
when I
snap.
did Muay Thai, we did a lot of sweeps, but it was from like an over under position.
Yeah.
So my favorite, what I translated to wrestling was going over under, and then I would go knee tap on my overhook side just to get them to react, back that leg up. And
Uh-huh.
then my knee tap hand would come up into the rib cage. And you do this a lot in Muay Thai. You put your hands, because you have gloves on, up into the rib cages of your opponent. And then I would foot sweep the underhook side.
Yeah.
That's
And
a good
pull.
one. Yep. And you don't even have to kick. Sometimes you could just post your foot out at an angle and they fall right
Yeah.
over your foot. That's the
Like
best.
you turn your body, you kind of just like
Yes.
pick your foot up. Yeah, you pull them into your foot almost.
Yes.
Um,
That's
dude,
a good
our
one.
heavyweight. So no, our heavyweight coach, Josh Davis. Have you met Josh Davis?
Mm-mm.
Um, he pretty good freestyle Greco guy. But it's funny because he just got a new pair of shoes, and kind of been giving him a hard time for a while because like he just hasn't gotten new shoes. Like he's had
Right.
these like I want to say old aggressors for like this longest time, and he's just been like just taping them. So like he just has like almost like his whole shoe is just tape, and like he
It's like
finally
just a
got new
tape
shoes.
ball.
And he said he got a. We're still in.
Yeah,
Hello.
I'm still here.
Hold on. All right, sorry, we got cut out here. We had some technical difficulties. But yeah, anyways, I was talking to my buddy about his new shoes, and we were talking about getting maybe some new Rudis stuff. But dude, I'm not sure how you feel about these like they have like psychic ones, and they have there's like a Statue of Liberty one. There's like a slushy one.
They're getting after it with these colors. I mean, they've definitely put themselves on the map and they've got, I mean, every color combo that you could even think of. I think some
Like,
of
look
them,
at this, dude.
it's sick. I like it.
So these are, let's like connect what's going on here. So we have the Tbilisi, which is a Russian tournament, and it's kind of like in homage to Dave Schultz, okay, which is where the Fox comes in. But you think Dave Schultz will be rocking these psychic purple?
No.
I don't think he would. What about dude? What about this one? Statue of Liberty. I mean, that one's actually kind of interesting. But now this one is blue slushy. Did they even have blue slushies?
Yeah,
They
you can
had,
get blue slushy,
huh?
red and blue.
Yeah. Yeah,
Go
probably.
over to the purple ones and then click wrestling shoes from there. Top left.
Shoes. That's fine. That's fine. We don't have to talk about it. I mean, I was just thinking, man, they're kind of ridiculous.
They're a little bit extreme, but I like them.
I was talking to my friend, and he was like, "Do you think they just have like a focus group, and they just like just a bunch of like teenagers, and like, what do you think about these colors?" And it's like, "Oh yeah, you should do like a slushy one." Or they got like cereal milk. Have you seen those?
Yes, yeah.
They're like
That
all
one
white,
looks,
and then
those look
underneath
cool.
this
Those look
is
super cool.
like cereal colors. I mean, they're cool. I mean, but I don't know. I just think it's kind of random. And I'm not talking smack about Rudis. Like I have Rudis. I have a Rudis sweatshirt on, but I don't know. I wouldn't wear those.
Yeah,
All right, man.
we'll
Let's go
see.
ahead and talk about the All Star Classic. I'm kind of excited. I'm glad they have it back. I don't know the details on this, but I know they're doing some kind of NIL deal with these guys, with these people that are coming into the All Star Classic. So I think that's great. And that's probably a big reason why they're coming back. It's interesting though that they're doing it, and it's like what, like the second or third week of the college season.
Yeah, it used to be like before any college competitions began. And it was kind of like the preseason precursor event of the season that would kind of kick off the year. And now some of these guys have wrestled a lot. I mean, Iowa State's been getting after it, Illinois has been getting after it, Pitt,
Yeah,
even Ohio
Wisconsin's had a few
State.
matches already.
Oh yeah, a lot of these guys have had a good amount of matches, and some of them haven't had any. So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I know. We can talk about this when we get to her, but I know Laura Boyd. She's had a big tournament where I want to say she lost. She got like thrown towards the end of the match, but got upset.
Yeah,
But
yeah, I just heard about that.
maybe I'm
Yeah,
thinking
let's
of the
kick it
wrong
off, and
one.
then I say we'll go every other on the pick, and when we come back for episode 3, we'll see who did better.
All right. Do you want to go first for 125s?
Yeah, sure, why not? First up, we got Pat McKee, Minnesota, and Kyson Terrakina, Iowa State. Pat's ranked third currently, and Kyson's 12. Kyson's had some big wins this year, but also some bad losses. He beat Eric Barnett earlier, who's a former All-American earlier in the year. But then at home in a dual meet with Cal Baptist from California, he lost 4-2 to Eli Griffin. Now, Eli's a stud. He's a tank of a 125 pounder, but definitely I would have said Kyson was the favorite going into that match. So he's got good wins, but he's got, not so, good losses. So it'll be interesting, but I'm going to take McKee here. I think he's solid. He's going to be just tough to beat, stays in really good position, and he's going to be, a top dog at 125 this year. So I'll take McKee.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to take McKee as well, especially if they're starting at 125. I know just from Kevin Dresser interviews that Kyson Terrakina sometimes struggles off the scale a little bit, just because maybe, some stuff he does outside of wrestling doesn't totally take care of his nutrition maybe the way he's supposed to. But yeah, I'm going to take McKee off this one. At 133, we have Lucas Birdman, and then we have Michael McKee. Bird is from Illinois. McKee is from Arizona State. I really like McKee's style. I feel like he wrestles hard. I see, if you remember last year, I want to say he ran the gauntlet and kind of came back and took third, I want to say. But just really dynamic scorer, wrestles hard. Bird usually keeps pretty good position. Sometimes he likes even keeping that hand down. He did suffer a loss to true freshman Jesse Mendez, who's looking pretty damn tough. This one's kind of a toss-up. I feel like it's kind of a clash of styles a little bit. I'm probably going to have to go McKee on this one.
I agree with you. My guess is it'll be a 3-2, 4-3 kind of match. But I think McGee comes out on top. Lucas is good though. I mean, he's a stud. Yeah, he took that loss to Jesse, but he's a guy who's gonna game plan, come back, and figure out what he needs to change. But it's gonna be interesting. But I think McGee's my pick as well.
Yeah, 157.
No,
We have
157.
Yeah, you can go ahead.
This one's gonna be fun. Bryson Donian, VT, and Will Lewan, Michigan. Will's ranked number 2 in the per flow, and Bryce is number 4. What makes this match so interesting is the difference in styles. Will's very, basic meat and potato, but very good at it. right? Whereas Bryce is kind of like he's going to throw the kitchen sink at you. You have no idea what's coming, and sometimes he'll put you on your back. Um, I don't. This one's hard. My gut would want to be stick with the meat and potatoes guy, but I'm going to go with Bryce just because I think he's going to come out there and throw some funk, throw some chaos at you, and I think it's going to pay off.
Yeah, I like this matchup too. You got yeah, like you said, like Will Lewan, whatever his name, how you ever pronounce his last name. He wrestles hard, man. Like he wrestles hard. I really like Bryce Andonian. He was a guy that last year during so some of the coaches in town will sometimes do like kind of like a fantasy draft sort of thing, not necessarily a draft, but like a pick 'em. And he was one of those guys where I was like, man, like I kind of wanted to pick him because just kind of with the formatting of how the pick 'em goes. I wanted to pick him before the tournament. And at the time, I think I want to say he went in ranked 11th. But yeah, I kind of just wasn't sure. I wasn't sure if he was somebody that was going to be able to sneak on the podium or not. And yeah, I should have picked him. He looked tough, and like kind of you said, he really throws the kitchen sink at you. If you look at some of his training partners that he has at Virginia Tech and the coaches that he has in the room, those guys kind of have a dynamic style themselves. Not saying necessarily that all that comes from them, but yeah, I'm going to pick Andonian here. I think he's got big move potential. And sometimes those meat and potato guys, when you wrestle against somebody that can scramble real well or, have some big moves, it makes you uncomfortable. So
I agree.
I'm going to pick Andoni on this one.
I agree. 141.
41s, we got Cole Matthews from Pitt, and we have Andrew Aliers from Northern Colorado. This one is a fill-in. Real Woods is out, so Aliers comes in. Yeah, I think Cole Matthews is tough. I like Cole Matthews. Alira's, I feel like he's had a lot of freestyle success, hasn't necessarily had the most folk style success yet. I haven't seen it really transition. And I was watching shout out to Stalemates. They did like some coverage of Alira's just training, and he doesn't seem like somebody I would personally want to hang out with. I'm probably going to let that cloud my judgment. But I also think Cole Matthews is just a better wrestler. So sorry, Andrew Aliers, I'm going to be a hater. Hating on you personally as well. But Cole Matthews, I'm going to pick Cole Matthews for 141.
Yeah, you can't really go wrong there. I think that's the right choice. And Pitt's been in a couple tournaments and a couple of duels this year already, and Cole looks really good. He looks really sharp. He just looks so strong for 141. I don't understand. He literally moves people with ease, and when he puts them to their back, it's like this is over. So that's a good pick. 191. We got Kalani Corbett, our first girls match. Kalani Corbett, Missouri Valley, and Sydney Kimber McKendry. Looking at my notes here, Sydney's ranked number 1 at 191. So it's going to be an interesting one. I think she's going to probably have a little bit more of a technical advantage. So I'm gonna stick with Sydney here on this one.
Yeah, I really like where Missouri has come with not just wrestling but girls wrestling as well. They've really developed over the last few years. I had a chance when we visited our friend Dylan in St. Louis. They had a training center there, and dude, that was probably one of the nicest wrestling rooms I've ever seen. And it's kind of attached to like this aquatic center, but I know you have a lot of girls that go in and they train there, and I think that's freaking awesome. Dude, if you go in there, like it's legit. It's like 4 like full size what look like college competition mats, and then they have bleachers that surround the entire wrestling room. And then if you step out, they have a weight room that's separate from the wrestling room that is just for wrestling.
Damn.
So they have a wrestling weight room, and then a hallway. There's like I want to say like 3 or 4 coaches' offices. So
Nice.
it's interesting now, like coming up in some of these states where, we really see women's wrestling fly. And, this is going to be a hard weight class. I think just from the perspective of, what are these girls going to do after college? because I want to say the women's weight, I want to say it's 76 kilos. I mean, that's a little bit of a separation in weight. I'm probably gonna say my favorite here is Sydney Kimber from McKendree. I'm interested to see what these girls do after the college season and if they can be able to get their weight down. I mean, that's such a tough weight to compete at if you're a girl.
Agreed.
At 170, we have Yelena Magoyed. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, from North Central, and North Central's in Illinois. And then we have Jessie Lee from Life. I mean, I like the way North Central. I want to say, I know it's in Illinois. I want to say that's in Elmhurst. So I was actually born in Carroll Stream, which is relatively close to there. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm probably going to favor Team Illinois in this one. North Central, Yelena. I'm going to favor Yelena over Jessie in this match.
Yeah, you can't go wrong there. Yelena's a stud, number one at 170. You can't really pick against her right now. She's on a tear, so maybe we'll see some bonus points in that one. 149, probably one of my favorite matches of this duel. Sasso from Ohio State and Austin Gomez from Wisconsin. This is going to be sick. So Gomez, everyone knows, just beat Yanni in the Wisconsin Cornell duel. Yanni's second loss in his college career. I got to watch a little bit of it. He hit a sick throw, kind of from a hip-to-hip body lock wizard situation, kind of stepped up, got tall, lifted, and Yanni tried to go, it almost looked like Yanni tried to go double overs outside step, and Gomez just won the position and got some backs and kind of just cruised through with that. But he also took a loss earlier in the year to freshman Pinheiro Johnson from Iowa State. So he hasn't had the most spectacular season. And then Sasso takes a loss to true freshman Caleb Henson from Virginia Tech in their dual meet. Some people are saying that Sammy's loss was because they started the duel at 149. And so he was the first match, and obviously he's probably cutting some weight. So that could be an excuse. Sasso did look like he gassed out in that match by the end of it. He was real slow to get back to the center. He was hurting, you could tell. So yeah, this is going to be a good one. I'm gonna go Sasso here. I think his funk is going to be too much for Gomez's upper body stuff. But it's going to be interesting. And I think just after watching Sasso and Henson, I wouldn't be surprised if this is Sammy's last season at 149. I think he's going to have to move up in the near future.
Yeah, I don't know why they just don't bump him up. I want to say they don't really have anybody that for Ohio State at 57s. I want to say it might be Patty.
It is.
But I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to say too much about that, but yeah, Sasso does not look great off the scale. And that was part of Virginia Tech's strategy, like with this new, this relatively new rule where it's like, if you kind of win, like the coach's choice of, what weight class you start at, you literally just, you look at the guys weighing in and be like, yeah, dude, like I'm a big Sasso. So hopefully that's something kind of gets under control. That match against Caleb Henson, that was the first one of the season, I think, for them. So hopefully it gets that down. I think this weight overall this year is going to be really fun to watch. Like you said, we have, all these really, really talented guys from all these different schools. And we'll see. I mean, Austin Gomez, I mean, he's a guy that maybe would rather throw you than know you. He's fun to watch. But I don't know. I think with this one being, was this the seventh match down the line, I'm gonna say that favors Sasso a little bit more. I'm gonna pick Sasso on this one.
Yep.
I'm gonna pick Sasso.
Yep.
184. This is a good one. I like this one. We have 184 Aaron Brooks from Penn State and Parker Kakaisen from Northern Iowa. I like the way Kakaisen wrestles, man. He wrestles hard. It's not anything too flashy. He just wrestles hard. He kind of gets in your face. I'd say Northern Iowa in the past couple of years, they're kind of like 184U. I mean, you could say the same thing about Penn State, but they've had some really good guys at that weight. I really like Doug Schwab. I really like Lee Roper. I like what they're doing over there. I'm not sure, though, if Kakaisen has enough gas to get through Aaron Brooks. I think it's going to be a close match. It's going to be a dogfight, but I think Aaron Brooks is going to outlast Kakaisen on this one.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. I'm a big fan of Parker. I think he's a stud. I think this will be a definite finals match this year between these two at the NCAA tournament. I just think Aaron just knows how to win. I mean, he put that on display last year in the finals with Amin from Michigan. He just knows how to win matches, and his game planning and everything else that goes into it. He's just so good at it. So I can't see Aaron taking a loss. I think he's going to come away with a dub today, or later today. What do we got next? 165. This is gonna be a good one as well. Dean Hamidi from Wisconsin and Keegan O'Toole, Missouri. I'll tell you, Keegan is slowly becoming one of my favorite college wrestlers to watch. I just like his style. He was wrestling at the Tiger Style Invitational a couple weeks back and was in the semifinals with a tough kid, and Keegan was winning. There was maybe 15 seconds left. They hit a restart, came back to the center. I think he was winning by a decision. Like, I think it was, if he had a 4-point lead or something. Comes back to the center. You could tell he was kind of frustrated with the guy he was wrestling. And on the 15-second restart with him on top, he goes for that cradle of his and he gets it, pulls the guy over and pins him. Like, that just shows the kind of mentality that he has, like knowing it's 15 seconds left. All he has to do is, either ride the guy or, cut him and put his ice skates on and run. And he goes out there and he's like, no, screw this, dude. I'm going to pin this guy. Like, this guy's been making me mad all match. Like, I haven't been able to get anything going. I'm going to freaking, with 15 seconds left, I'm going to still go for it. And he went for it and got his pin. And that just shows character, shows leadership. I really like that. So I'm a fan of his. Not to knock Dean Hamidi, he's a stud. I like his style, really long and lanky, super scrambly. Looks really good this year as well. I just think Keegan's going to have too much in the tank coming back as a returning finalist or returning national champ, and he's too dangerous on top. I mean, he's going to look to cradle Dean from every which way. It's going to be good to watch. I'm excited.
I mean, I can't really argue against your pick here. I like Dean Hamidi. He was, both these guys are young guys. Really like the way Dean Hamidi wrestles. He wrestles hard. Kind of like what you said, though. I feel like Keegan O'Toole has a lot of tools.
Ooh.
A lot of tools in his bag, in his arsenal that he can use in his matches. And frankly, so Dean Hamidi is a good wrestler. Keegan O'Toole is going to be one of the greatest, I think, to come out of the United States. He's already an age level world champ. He wrestles so hard. And, I think, he's going to outlast Hamidi here. Maybe not necessarily because of his tricks. He might pull off maybe a cradle or two at some point, but I think it's just going to be just good, hard wrestling. His ability to get angles and move his feet, I think is ultimately what's going to separate him.
Agreed.
We have at 143, Adalgo Nwachukwu from Iowa Wesleyan and Alara Boyd from McKendree. I haven't checked, but I want to say Alara just lost. She's not still the number one. I don't know if you can help me out with there, Sean.
I have her listed as number one, but I could have been looking at, maybe they weren't updated yet. Or I was looking at the wrong ones, but
yeah. We need to get on that. We need to follow women's wrestling more. We were talking about that already, but I think Alara Boyd, she's tough. I want to give her the edge here over the other girl. Man, her name is tough. Can you imagine being an announcer?
Yeah, that's a tough one. I've also never seen her wrestle either. I've watched Alara in the past. I've never seen Duago wrestle. So my gut instinct is just to go with Alara. 109, Peyton Prusen from Life and Emily Schilson from Augsburg. According to my sheet here, I couldn't find either of them in the rankings. So, and that could just be the ones I was looking at. So this one's gonna be a full-on toss-up. I'm gonna just go with I'm gonna just take Peyton. I'm gonna take Peyton. Maybe she's an underdog, maybe she's not, but we're gonna see.
Yeah, this is another girl from Life. Um, I mean, I guess, yeah, it looks like it's gonna be a toss up. I'm gonna pick Emily Shilson on this one from Augsburg, Minnesota. So, yeah, I'm gonna go with Emily Shilson, just to be opposite of you.
Let's do it.
165. Okay, this is kind of, I guess, if you will, the main event of this bout order here. David Carr jumping up a weight from 57, going up against Quincy Monday. And this one is interesting because I want to say part of the hype on this one is their dads wrestled.
Yep.
So I don't know. I think Monday again. He's somebody that's quick. He's athletic. He's really explosive. Last year he wrestled Deacon in the finals. Kind of had some trouble in that Iranian position. Hopefully it's an area that you can kind of clean up a little bit. But I feel like David Carr here is going to take the win. He is going up a weight, but hopefully I think that's going to be in his favor. He's going to be able to have a little more energy in this match, a little more pep in his step. I'm going to favor David Carr.
Yeah, the other thing with David and Quincy is that Quincy, when the duel was created, and it was created, gosh, over a month ago, Quincy was set to go 65s this year as well. Both guys were 57 pounders last year. Both were going to bump up and go 65 this year. Since then, Quincy's announced that he's going to drop back down to 57. Maybe he didn't put the size on that he wanted, or honestly, for me personally, I think 57s is a much easier weight class this year than 65s. If I had to pick between two, I would rather make the cut because 65s is insanely deep. I mean, and you've got Keegan at the top, holding it down. So Quincy's back down at 57s. He's the number one ranked 57 pounder. David Carr's ranked number 3 at 165. So there could be a little bit of size advantage for David in this one. I think he's also just a better wrestler, but there's a lot of history between these two guys and their families. So I think it's gonna be fun and exciting. I'm also going to take David.
Yeah, I think just to add one more thing with Quincy, I think one of the part of the decision process was, over the summer, I guess he didn't really put on as much size, like as you talked about. That was something that he had mentioned with his coaches. So he'll go back down to 57s, but so we probably won't get this match during the season. But I'm glad we still get to see it now because it's gonna be fun.
Agreed. 197. Are you up or is it me?
I think it's you, man.
All right, Jacob Warner, Iowa, and Rocky Elam, Missouri. This can be a fun one. Warner, obviously a returning finalist from last year. Rocky, an All-American, ranked number 2 versus number 4. This one's going to be fun. I'm just going to go right at it and just say I think Rocky's going to get the dub. I think he's going to be able to game plan a little bit better. It's still early in the year. I don't even know if Jacob Warner, how many matches he has this year. I mean, I don't think if any, I don't think it's very much.
He's had a few. I want to say he wrestled the Army duel. That was the only one that I watched for Iowa because I know they're trying to play around with their lineup and move some guys in and out.
Yeah. I'm just gonna go with Rocky. I think he's got it. I like what Mizzou's doing right now. They look good as a team. The game planning is obviously coming into effect here since this matches were determined so long ago. I'm gonna go with Rocky. I'm going for the upset.
Okay. I'm gonna go with Warner here. I feel like he hand fights hard. He usually stays in pretty good position on his feet. He's able to ride hard and he's able to get out, which at these upper weights, I mean, having those skills, being able to wrestle like that in all 3 of those positions is essential. I know Rocky's a good wrestler. It might be even a little bit more dynamic than Warner, but I'm going to go with Warner on this one. I think he's just going to probably win a close one. I think it might be like 2-0, 1-0. I don't think Rocky's got the gumption here to beat Warner in this duel. At 285 heavyweights, we have Anthony Cassiope from Iowa and Greg Kirklevet from Penn State. Man, I don't want to pick
this is a tough one. This is a tough one. This is a real tough one.
So, I mean, when I was a kid, like, I was a pretty big Iowa fan. Cassiope, he's really kind of matured into the weight now. He's looking strong. He had a really good season last year. I know, like, the hype. There's been so much hype around Kirk Levitt for so long, and I don't know if this is going to be his year. Just with Gable Steveson being gone, one of these guys is possibly the person to step up and win a national title this year. That's not going to be Gable Steveson. Man, there's a very good chance Kirk Levitt is going to win this match, but I like Cassiope, so I'm going to go Cassiope.
Perfect, because I'm going to take Kirk Levitt, because I think you're right, though. You're completely right. This match is going to determine a lot for this weight class, and without Gable, anyone can win it. All these guys are right there. ASU has obviously the returning national champ, so our national finalist. So it's just going to be good. It's going to be a good way to watch. I'm excited, but I'm going to take Kirk Levitt here.
All right. The last one, homie.
Last one, 174, the main event that Flo's been hyping up. Carter Starachi, Penn State, and Mekhi Lewis, Virginia Tech, returning national finals from last year at 174. Mekhi, returning national champ from a couple years ago. Carter now a two-time national champ, I believe. This is a crazy match. These guys are just, when you watch them wrestle, Brian, I swear they look like they're just the strongest human beings out there at this weight class. I mean, they're both huge. They both move people with ease. They kind of get in positions sometimes where you'd be like, man, that usually ends in a stalemate, or or either just separates with no score. These guys are so strong that they're sometimes able to use that to their advantage and push through positions that most people can't do. These guys are both athletes, and I do truly think this is going to probably be our finals at 174 this year again, barring no injury. So I'm going to go kind of similar with the Aaron Brooks route. Carter knows how to win matches. He knows how to game plan. I'm going to go Carter here, but it would not surprise me if Mekhi wins this match and then Carter gets him at NCAAs, which I think is a good opportunity. I think that could very well happen, kind of like Dake and Taylor-esque, when they had to keep meeting like this. These guys kept meeting, and I could see that happening as well. But I'm going to stick with Carter. I'm going to stick with my gut, and we'll see what happens.
Lewis is so hard to take down. Lewis is
insanely
got
hard.
really good hits. He's really strong. Starachi over the summer was an age level world bronze medalist, which I know is something that he's was unhappy about. Really a lot of confidence coming from Starachi. I think he's a guy that believes that he's going to be great. Maybe that he is great right now. I'm kind of interested to see him wrestle guys like Burroughs and Dake. I think that the difference in that we're going to see in this match, does Mekhi Lewis, is he going to be able to get to his offense? Is he going to be able to score points? Really uses reattacks to get to his scores, and wasn't really able to do that last year against Starachi, just because Starachi stays in a really good position. But Lewis is going to have to take some kind of attack here, because Starachi is going to be coming at you a lot. He's going to be trying to put up a lot of points on the board. He's going to be trying to attack you and get a lot of scores. So it's going to be interesting to see what kind of positions, like you said, both these guys get into some pretty tough positions to wrestle from. I think Mekhi Lewis has a very good chance at winning this match. I just haven't seen enough just from him in the past to where he's going to be able to generate offense against some really good guys. So I feel like this is kind of similar to the last one. I feel like Starachi is the favorite here, but I'm going to go Mekhi Lewis just to be opposite of you. But again, the difference of what I'm going to see is can Lewis get to his offense and just not rely on reattacks. That's I think going to be the big game changer here in the match.
Right. No, I agree. I agree. So what we'll do is I kept note of whoever went first on the weight class and who they picked, and then I'll just give the other person the other wrestler by default, and we'll see who comes out on top with the most correct after today.
All right.
We'll recap it. Real quick on the college topic before we switch over to high school. Are you familiar with the Black Knight invite that just happened this last weekend, Brian?
I did watch. I did watch.
It was hosted by
Well,
Army
so
West Point.
I wouldn't say I'm familiar with it. I did look at what they had for the trophies. I thought was
Yes.
cool.
Okay.
That was tight, man.
That is
That's tight.
essentially what I'm trying to get at. And we're seeing this more and more now in wrestling, which is awesome, is that people are moving away from dinky old first place medals and they're getting out, very unique and intricate designed, trophies or something that you could take home that, just has a little bit more value than a medal with attached to some, string.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, they gave out Army West Point hosted the tournament. And if you won your weight class, you got a outer camouflage outer plate carrier, like a vest, military vest, and it said 125-pound champ on it. It was pretty cool in stitched lettering. And then the OW got a camouflage bulletproof like tactical helmet. So that
That's great.
that's just so sick. I love that. Obviously, Clarion, they host that tournament earlier in the year where they give out the Knights helmet. That they've been doing that for a while now, but that one's pretty cool. Here in California, we got Doc B who gives out the cowboy hat. We got Temecula Battle for the Belt, which gives out the belt, obviously.
Zinkin Classic has a belt buckle.
That's
We were
cool.
trying
I
to
like
think of
that.
doing something for the Titan Classic. Maybe doing like a fanny pack
Fanny pack. That's not a bad
or
idea. I guess you'll use it,
just to complete the set, because maybe that's something where you have the Doc B cowboy hat, you have the zinc and belt buckle. This would be really expensive and probably really impractical. But cowboy boots,
That would be sick. But the
but
size
that
of
would
the
be way
stuff,
too hard, man. How would you plan that ahead of time?
yeah, that would be a little tough.
You have
Unless
to get
you
people's shoe
unless you
size.
just gave them a voucher for like a boot barn or somewhere similar where they could just go and redeem the voucher for cowboy boots. That could work. But we are talking big money here. Unless you go to
Yeah,
unless
that's
you
big
go to
money.
Boot Barn and you ask them for like, hey, we're hosting this tournament, we'll put a banner up for you guys there. Maybe you throw us, 10, $100 vouchers for cowboy boots that we can give
You
to
need
the
14.
champs. Oh, 14. Yeah.
You need 14.
Um,
And we have a girls division. So
yeah, that's a lot. That's a
that's a
lot of
lot of
money you're
boots.
asking for.
A lot of boots.
Yeah, but I like it. I
Have
like
stuff. They used to have stuff, Sean, like they give you like a fishing pole, or they give you like a gun, or they would give stuff out like back in the olden times. If you won a tournament, you would get like stuff like that, like a
I
fishing
like it.
rod.
Yeah,
Bring
it'd
it
be
back,
cool.
dude. You guys have a tournament?
Yeah, we're hosting our tournament. It'll be third annual Granite Hills Invitational on December 3rd. It's a small San Diego tournament, 16 team. We won it last year just by a half a point over Brawley, who's very tough down here in the San Diego section. So it'll be a good one. We gave out medals last year. So now I'm gonna take this podcast to my head coach and I'm gonna say, look, we need something different. We need some like big old golden eagle, like something to give to the kids. We can't just be doing these dinky medals.
Yeah, well, maybe do something random like a fishing rod or like I can't think of anything else. I don't know. Maybe give them like a portable charger or like like a fan, like
What
something practical.
what's gonna happen is the head coach Jesse Shear is gonna go, well, we've got a checkings and a savings. So I've got to look at the checkings and then I've got to look at the savings and we'll make a decision.
And then it's a Sunday. You gotta wait 3 business days. So like I don't
Yeah,
know if I'm
yeah.
able to like push
It's
it
not
down.
as easy as you think. Let's talk about real quick. Um,
The shootout.
let's talk about the shootout. So for those of you who don't know, there was the Clovis West Shootout this last weekend. Pulling up my results here. Obviously early in the season, first first tournament of the year for a lot of these guys. But the biggest thing is that, as you can see right here on the team scores, Gilroy outscored Buchanan by 2 points. That's huge. I know Buchanan had some of their guys missing. Sloan Swan didn't wrestle. He probably would have been definitely a finalist, if not a champion. And Gilroy, I think, was also missing some guys as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how these two teams pan out down the line.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where, like, literally, like, if they get both the Merrills, that's going to add, probably, at least like 40 team points at the state tournament, not including bonus. So, I mean, that could honestly be the difference maker at the state tournament. To be honest, I wasn't sure exactly how Gilroy was going to be able to fit with how they're going to do at the end of the year. I would have given the edge to Poway still as a returning second place team last year. But yeah, this is interesting. It's still the beginning of the year, and I think that's something to where coaches put a lot of pressure, maybe in the wrong areas sometimes. Not the best ones, but it's like you don't want to be ready too early. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to be ready at the beginning of the year. You want to be ready at the end of the year, because that's when you get a state medal. You don't get a state medal at the Clovis West Shootout. You know what I mean?
Agreed. No, 100%. It's it's okay to take losses early in the year. Obviously, you don't want to, but it's not do or die. It's not the end of the world. You come back to the mat, you come back to the wrestling room, you take what you screwed up on, what you need to fix, what you need to tweak, and we have from now until the last weekend of February to do it. So no, there's nothing wrong with it. Let's go through some of the notable placings. Obviously, at 106, Rockland Zinkin of Buchanan pretty much ran through the tournament. I think he pinned or bonused his way through it. Wasn't a lot there in terms of competition towards him, and he's ranked number 1 in the state for a reason. 113, you got Ruiz over Lewis. Lewis, a freshman from Clovis. It's going to be he's a stud. It's going to be interesting to see if he goes down to 106 or not later in the year. I'm not sure if he'll be able to or not, but it would be interesting if he came down. I'd like to see Lewis and Zinkin wrestle. That might be a really good match.
Dude, that name is fire though too. Thunder
Lewis. Yeah, it's pretty cool. 20s. This is a funny weight from 120 for Gilroy, especially because, as you can see, they had first, second, and fourth. Gilroy's going to run into some depth problems this year. I mean, I guess that's good problems to have. But
one of these guys might go down.
Yeah, supposedly it's Moses Mendoza, freshman, second place finish at 120. He's ideally going to go down, but I've seen that guy wrestle in person. He's huge for a 113 pounder now, and he's only a freshman, so he's still growing. But he's definitely a really big 113 pounder. It's probably a really hard cut, so that's probably why he's up at 120 right now. But then you also got Jose Limones from Gilroy, another freshman, who's right there in the mix too, wrestling with these guys. So yeah, this is good problems for Gilroy to have with guys that that good and that deep at each weight. It's good things to have.
Yeah, we got another Cortez beating CJ Huerta. Man, Buchanan's just got a lot of freshmen. What's interesting about Gilroy is, like, there's a lot of sophomores, a lot of freshmen as well. But man, like, you have a lot of talented freshmen coming in from Buchanan that are very capable of placing this year, which is super impressive.
Yeah, 4 years from now, Buchanan's going to be lights out with this freshman class as seniors. This was a surprising result for me. Casey Roberts over Anthony Harris of Buchanan, 5-0. I truly would have put more faith in Harris to win that match. Not to knock on Roberts, he's really good. He was a state placer, I want to say a couple of years ago, 2 years ago maybe. But then he didn't place last year because one of my wrestlers eliminated him from the tournament on the backside. And it was kind of one of those matches where we got matched up with him on the backside. And I was like, damn, like we have a returning state placer on the backside this early. And my kid didn't really, I don't think he knew, or he didn't really care. And so he just went out there and got the win. Um, so Casey, I'm sure, is looking for a redemption season, get back on the podium at state. And, he's already off to a hot start because Harris is a tough cookie himself. So it's a good win.
Yeah, Vacaville has kind of fallen off a little bit this year. I feel like they're kind of come like in cycles of whether or not they have a good team. No, I think it's a good win for Casey Roberts early in the year. It probably helps out his confidence a lot. Anthony Harris, he's dropped some matches like this before. We'll see. It's like one of those things where we'll see at the end of the year. It's great that you're winning right now, and you want to win everything. But we don't know what's going to happen at the end. So,
Yep.
Hopefully Roberts can kind of get a little bit of a run going and get better. But Anthony Harris, I mean, he's going to work hard in his room too, and he's going to improve. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yes, we will. 138 was a deep weight. Biggest thing here was Daniel Cepeda over freshman, phenom for Buchanan, Joseph Toscano in the semis, which brought Daniel into the finals. And then that Joshua Hannon of Arcata, I believe that's out of California. I don't think that school is here in California. Could be wrong, but I don't believe it is. He was losing to Cisco Cabrera Buchanan in the semis on the other side, like 9-2. Cisco was up 9-2 or something similar to that. And then Hannon put him to his back and pinned him. So would have been cool to see Daniel Cepeda and Cisco wrestle in the finals.
Yeah.
It didn't happen. But this is a deep weight, and Buchanan's going to have to move some guys around, whether Toscano or Cisco goes down, kind of create some separation. It's going to be interesting, though.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what they do. Again, it's a good problem to have. Toscano, the freshman, Cabrera, the senior. It's a good problem to have. And, again, I don't know where they're going to go. So.
Down at 45s, Moses Mirabal from Gilroy over Damian Montoya, Clovis North. Doesn't really surprise me. Moses is really good. And there wasn't a lot of depth at this weight, interesting enough. So that's really the only notable thing I got from this weight. And no real surprises here at 145.
Yeah, I think Damien's tough. I've talked to his older brother Sergio, and he said that he's pretty tough in the room. Just needs to kind of put it out there on the mat a little bit more. And he's still young too. I mean, Damian Montoya is a sophomore. Hopefully as this year goes on, he kind of takes his lumps and then starts to put some things together. What's interesting that actually sticks out to me about this weight is you actually had two guys from the same team that met each other actually wrestle each other. So at third place, we have Anthony Vargas, who's a freshman last year, really tough, beat Matt Raucho, his teammate, who's a senior, 9-3. And then the fifth place match, we got Henry Good from Clovis. He beats James Wright. He pins him. So we've kind of seen so far in this tournament when two guys from the same team meet up with each other, there's a forfeit, but not this time.
Yeah, I see both sides of doing that. Typically you see the forfeits because there's no reason to have two of your own guys go out there and try to beat each other up, potentially get hurt, try and save them a match at least. But I can see also if you're a team that doesn't believe in doing wrestle offs in the wrestling room, you see this more at like the college level, but it can work for a local tournament like this as well. Send both guys to the tournament at the same weight and see who comes out on top. Maybe they meet, maybe they don't meet, maybe someone places higher, performs better, gets a common opponent victory over someone, or they get a head-to-head in this case. So we do, in my wrestling room, at least I can say, we do challenge matches in the room with referees and whatnot, and it's pretty legit. We don't, we will sometimes send guys to the tournament to, at the same weight, but we don't always have them wrestle. If one guy's clearly the A guy and one guy's clearly the B guy, I would hate to see someone get hurt in that extra match.
Yeah, I mean, you don't necessarily want them wrestling each other if, for the sake of, you want one guy to get injured. But for me, it's kind of like if they happen to meet up in the tournament, like we want, the best guy that can, to me, the best guy in the, that's going to be competing is the one that competes the best. Like, I mean, you might be able to beat somebody in the room, but how do you do it against other guys? I've seen that before where, two guys, they wrestle each other in the room and one gets better than the other one in the room, but the other one competes harder. Like they do a better job competing. So, I don't know. We could probably have maybe a little, we can talk more about that on a later podcast. 52s, we got Thong Song of Exeter. Picks up the win over Frosh of Buchanan. Thong Song's tough, man. He's tough. He's a tough guy to wrestle.
Yeah. Not a whole lot of craziness going on in this weight class, but yeah, Tommy's a stud. He's really good. I think he's not going to be staying at 52s for long, but he's going to be a problem down at 45s. He's going to be a threat for, state finals. So it'll be interesting watching him. I like his style, and we kind of talked about him on the last podcast. Really good kid. So happy to see him go out there and run through this tournament.
Yeah.
160.
60s.
This was probably the biggest.
is bigger than we thought he was going to be.
Yes, agreed.
Wrestled 26 last year, so that's a pretty big jump.
Yeah, this is probably going to be the biggest match of the tournament, in my opinion, was Grace of Gilroy over Contino of Buchanan. Grace, just a freshman, was a Fargo finalist in freestyle. Really good wrestler. I watched some of his matches the other day. He's a tank. I mean, his legs look huge for a freshman. He's big. He's only going to keep growing, in my opinion. He's probably going to, round out to be an 82-pounder very soon, maybe even bigger. He looks like he's going to get pretty big. Leo, I don't know if he's going to make the descent down to 52s where he's ranked, or if that's going to be saved for Sloan Swan when he returns. I don't know. I don't know what Buchanan's doing, but 2-0 win. From what I saw, Grace took him down. Grace took neutral in the second period, which doesn't surprise me because Leo's really, really tough on top. And he does really good leg ride and crab ride situations, looks for claw halves and tilts like that. And then second period, down 2-0, no score in the third period, down 2-0. Leo took bottom and Grace rode him out. So it's going to be interesting. I don't know if these two will see each other again. I'm not sure if Leo drops, but this outcome actually surprised me. I would have had my money on Leo to win.
Really? All right. 70s. For me, like nothing really here kind of sticks out.
No.
Joe Buck has been solid. I don't know. Don't really see too much out of this one. This might be one of those matches where these guys end up wrestling each other in the duel. That's usually a pretty fun event to watch. So I'm sure they're probably going to wrestle each other like 5 or 6 more times. But
more than likely.
It was a good, it's a good match.
182s. Sandoval of Vacaville gets the win over Rocha of Buchanan by fall. I don't really see a lot of super shocking results here. Isaac Fernandez of Central is really good too. And then another Buchanan guy in the top 4 just to kind of add to their depth. It's insane.
Yeah. Again, these are great problems to have if you're at Buchanan, but I don't know. We'll see.
195, Keanu, is it Trellis of Buchanan?
Yes.
He was a round of 12er last year at the state tournament. Just kind of glancing through some of the guys he wrestled. I didn't expect him to lose to anyone, but he pinned everyone under a minute. So he went out there with a fire in his belly and he freaking, went to work on every single guy he wrestled. And I'm not sure if in his 4 matches he even wrestled 6 total minutes. So that's pretty cool. I like to see that when guys are, clearly the top dog in that weight class of that tournament, just go out there and show everyone that you mean business.
Yeah. I think coming out and wrestling like that, you're really establishing yourself and really kind of putting everybody on notice, especially, just go out and getting falls like that. I think at this weight, if you're athletic and, you kind of keep good position, you can stay in a lot of matches. But this guy is not looking to stay in matches. He's looking to dominate matches. So again, is another somebody that, I'm probably going to keep my eye on. And we'll see if he's able to be consistent like that, against some tougher competition. Yeah, we'll like I said, with all these, man, we'll see as the year goes on.
Right. 220. I don't really have too much. Nothing really shook the rankings too much in my opinion. I mean, Ozuna of Clovis West. I think it was Clovis West's only champion, if I'm mistaken. And we don't see any Gilroy or any Buchanan in the top 6.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, it's kind of like what we talked about earlier. Adding the Merrills to this, these upper weights will really kind of change things, in my opinion. But I don't know. I don't know what. I haven't heard anything updating on that situation. From a fan perspective, I want to wrestle, but from somebody that has some skin in the game here. Well, I mean, if things are maybe controversial in a way, then I don't think that's fair. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't know. Have you heard anything else about what's going on with that?
No, I haven't. I mean, I hope they wrestle, just for, the kids' sake. I obviously just want what's best for most kids, whether they, when kids transfer to another school or whatnot, if they're doing it because that's what they want. I hate to see a kid have to sit out for a whole year. That's never a good thing, in my opinion. Some people are like, no, they have to sit out the whole year and yada yada yada. Should have wrestled here. I mean, I get it, but I'm for the kid, man. If a kid wants to go wrestle at that school, and let him wrestle at that school, I don't really care.
I mean, I care if you're cheating. I care if you're cheating like that. I mean, it could be one of those things where, I don't know. Like, I mean, I don't know the kids personally super well. Yeah, I mean, I think if you're cheating, you're cheating, and you should be punished like that. Maybe sitting out the whole year wouldn't be great. I wouldn't like that for them. I want to say, I don't know if the older Merrill is a senior or not. He might be a
No,
sophomore.
He's a junior.
The junior. He's a sophomore last year. It's not something that I necessarily want to see. Yeah, I mean, if you're doing the wrong things, and it's not me to make up the punishment, but yeah, I do feel like something should happen.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah, and I mean, there's always that 45-day sit where they have to sit until December 27th or something like that, and they can come back.
Yeah, I mean, just all right. You have to go back where you live, Barrels, and you gotta have to wrestle for whatever team is in your area.
We'll see what happens. But this was good, Brian. Good second episode, and
Yeah, it was fun.
We'll see how the All Star Classic shakes out later today. Today's my birthday, so I'm gonna go hit a round of golf and then head into wrestling practice, and you can't really beat that.
Yeah, I don't think you can. Yeah, man, happy birthday. Enjoy your tea time. And enjoy your Thanksgiving.
Yeah, you too, brother. We'll get back at it next week.
All right. Later.